it was, you know, not a lot of money for 93 cities and towns. But we can raise money by going broad-based and getting those $25, $50, and $100 donations from the grassroots. And we should rely on that. And I would have a fundraising team of maybe 4 to 6 people who know how to work with the grassroots very well to make those phone calls. And I have people in mind to do that. People who I know will help raise money and bring it in $25, $50, and $100 at a pop. But I also think we should focus on the big money people too, and let them know they might not be inclined to support a non-money guy like myself, more of a populist Republican like myself. However, if I was chair of this organization statewide, they would listen to me, and I would get their attention, and I would bring them value, and those big money people would be donating money to our cause statewide. I can guarantee it. I'm a sales and marketing guy, so I'm not afraid to pick up the phone myself. Successful local fundraising will stimulate the growth of local endeavors while allowing the city, ward, and town committees to have their own treasuries and bank accounts. And we should encourage exchange of resources and people among the committees vertically, like I said, between local committees and regional committees. And we should grow the state party membership as local finances become more solvent. So at this point, are we going to have questions
after both?
After both?
Sure.
So at this point, I'd like to just summarize what we talked about. We talked about fundraising. We talked about local committees focusing on state rep candidates. I gave you a little bit about my background. In fact, I'm a Massachusetts native, and I've invested in this Commonwealth, and I plan to stay here. And I started out saying that I think this party is in dire need. It's in serious crisis. And if we continue on the path that we're on right now, and we've been on for maybe a decade or two, we're going to continue to lose, and we're just going to be spinning our wheels and wasting our time. Okay? We need to build this party brick by brick, okay? And I'm asking for your help with me in doing that, and I'd be happy to form the first cornerstone in that, because I'm a manager and a leader, an administrator who leads by example. So if you allow me to build the foundation with the first cornerstone, I would ask you to join in with me and help rebuild this organization brick by brick. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mike Franco. Now, to present Jennifer Massour.
Hello, thank you very much for having me here tonight. I'll just start with a little bit about myself. I started in politics about almost 20 years ago, going around locally, getting petitions signed for local candidates. I was in college. When I was in college, I received my bachelor's in political science. When I graduated, I went on to go work for a state senator, and at the time I also went to grad school at night, where I also received a master's in political science. I left working in politics for a little while, in government for a while. I went into public relations, and then from there I went into a newly formed county legislature, where I was chief of staff and legal counsel and law clerk, and I also went to law school in the evenings. At the time, I was also the president of our Young Republican Committee. I was on numerous boards, the Women's Commission and our County Youth Council. And I moved up here in 2002, married a guy from Milford who dragged me from New York to Boston, and it was probably the best move of my life. I'm married, I have 2 little kids, and I decided about a year ago when I got on this, I was running for the state committee, and I got on in March. I was elected in February, and I sat in those state committee meetings, and it was just a very sad state of affairs, and our other state committee members here know what it's like over there. It's just all business. There's no motivation. There's nothing that really propels you to go into the community and work hard and to say to people, I'm a proud Republican and I want you to come with me and I want you to fight the battles with me. And you watch our numbers slipping. We don't have the corner office anymore. We don't have constitutional officers. We are dwindled down to 10% of the legislature. And the frustration keeps building. And instead of sitting there and just getting more frustrated and wondering when, if ever, it's going to get better, I decided to run for chair. We have a lot to do. And the good news is we have some fantastic assets. We have great impassioned activists. We have knowledgeable fundraisers. We have a message that resonates with the people in the Commonwealth. And so as a party, if we all band together, we can do some fantastic things and really put ourselves on the map again. One of the problems is it has started to kind of fall apart. And whether it was bickering between who belonged to what subsector of the party, or we don't have the governor's office anymore, or just general interest has dwindled. It's really incumbent upon all of us to get together, to talk to our friends and neighbors, to get more people involved, to get more people active. And it starts on the grassroots level. It starts down in the town committees. It starts with going to your neighbor's house, talking to your neighbor. While you're out having dinner, talk to your friends. And, you know, you sit there sometimes and you're talking to a friend who thinks that they're a Democrat, and all of a sudden, before you know it, your views are exactly the same. Because I think people in Massachusetts are almost programmed that they have to be Democrats. But if you look at it, statistically, 50.5% of the enrolled voters in Massachusetts are actually unenrolled. 11.6 are Republicans, and somewhere in the 30s are the Democrats. So for us as Republicans, Republicans can get somewhere in the 30s just staying home and running for, if they're running for office. So if you have people out there who are being really supported by the state party, and we have the best and the brightest candidates running, we should be able to pull more of those unenrolled over to our side to come and vote for Republicans. But there are numerous things that we have to do in order to get that interest and to get those people to really feel connected to the Republican Party. So as I have a plan that I had developed, and one of the top things is the grassroots, is really all of you. Well, you know, it starts on so many different levels. It goes from your neighbors, it goes to your schools, it goes to becoming active in charitable events in charitable activities in your community, sending for a town chair to send out letters to new residents saying, I'm the town chair of the Malden committee, and I would like for you to come to our meeting to meet your new neighbors and to meet some new friends, generate some interest, get some activity going, to have Proposition 2.5 battle plans, to just move forward and to write letters to your editors, to get really involved. We also need a message. Our message has kind of gone away. No one really knows. We haven't defined ourselves away from the Democrats, and we need to. We're Republicans, and we should be proud of it. We're the voice of reason. We're the voice of the future. We are common sense for the Commonwealth, and that is how we should be perceived. So we need to sit there and say, we are Republicans. We are not taking your money and shoving it down our bras. We are not the people that are groping women on the park benches. We are not re-electing someone with ethical violations, giving out millions of dollars in contracts to buddies as our Speaker of the House. We stand for something else. We stand for the party where we're working hard. We want each and every one of you to keep your money, to use your money how you want, to use your money for your children, for their college educations, to use it to put food on your table, to use it to put a down payment on a house, or to make your car payment. And no one is saying that, and no one is saying, we really provide you with a good future, with a better life, and that's what we're here for. Our founding fathers never came to this country thinking that we were going to have a one-party system and we were only going to have one voice. They wanted for us to have good democratic government where there was fighting and people had their own views. And right now in Massachusetts, as taxpayers, each and every one of us, we don't have a fair representation. We have a one-party system. We have one voice that's out there fighting for us, and we need two voices. And that's what we have to do, and that's the message we have to go out into our neighborhood with and say, You need to have a second voice. You need an alternative. The Massachusetts Republican Party provides you with that alternative voice for someone to get out there and speak on the issues and on the matters that affect you on an everyday basis.